Hey penguins, it's me Nessie. I'm back with a new video and today I am in the lovely Monte Vista. I'm actually in my new save file, which is Ponyo World. I've made a few buildings here. These are all homes, even though some of them look like businesses. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. But yeah, this is kind of the world that's inspired by Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, I don't know how people like to say it, basically kind of like anime sort of.
See what I'm saying?
Not really.
And here I'm going to be making the carpenter's house. It was kind of inspired by Pinocchio in a way, even though I think he's like a clockmaker or something. Oh, maybe he is a carpenter, I can't remember, but you know, his house is like full of cuckoo clocks.
I wonder what time it is.
And stuff like that. So this is like basically an anime version of that, but it doesn't have a little wooden puppet, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was going for. And inside this house I'm planning to sort of put all of like woodworking stuff, so it just really looks like someone who does that as their job day in day out sort of thing. So you know, their house is also their studio, I guess is what you call it, their little wood shop. So yeah, outside I'm sort of just putting some decorations, laying out the land. I wanted to give it a little bit of a different sort of landscape style, I suppose, because I'm doing this like raised up part instead of just like doing it on flat land or on like a regular foundation, because I want the world to kind of look very natural. And I think if you ever look at like anime like cartoon images or anything like that, you know, it does all look a very like unique place to be, so that's kind of what I was going for here. So I've started off kind of placing some of like the outdoor decor. I usually do things in like a little bit of a different order to this. Like normally I would like have made the house and stuff, but I got really carried away with kind of putting everything down that really gave me some inspiration for the build. And I think that's like perfectly fine to do that, because sometimes you've got a general idea, but then you think, oh, have I actually got these items in The Sims? Have I got things that are going to match this theme? And that was kind of my initial fear. I thought, oh, what if I can't actually kind of create what is going on in my mind, you know? And I just wanted to make sure that it was possible. For this design, for this build, I used everything, all the stuff packs and all the expansion packs, apart from Into the Future and Seasons. And the reason I'm not using Into the Future is just because I don't think it quite goes with the anime theme that I'm going for. Like, I'm not going for like robots and mechanical stuff in this world. It's kind of more, I don't know, set back in time, not like, you know, really far back in time, but just at a time where, you know, technology wasn't the main thing that they cared about. So that's where this sort of world is set. And the reason I haven't used Seasons is because even though I love having weather options and stuff like that, in this world, because so many of the like different houses and builds have got kind of more openness to them, like some of them have like an archway or no door, because it just leads straight to the bar. Because in a few like Japanese style houses and things like that, it kind of just goes from the outside to the inside. I kind of replicated that, and I know that if you have Seasons and then you put like the winter mode on, it's gonna like freeze up inside and stuff, and I thought that's just gonna be annoying and things. So even though it means this save file isn't gonna have any like festival lots and things like that. I don't think it's like necessary anyway. I'm gonna still put loads of like places to go and things to do in it, and other parks and things like that, but it just won't have an actual seasons festival park. So that's the only thing. God, I found these stairs so fiddly. I don't know if when you're building you think the stairs should fit here. It just doesn't. Like when I get to that point, I'm starting to remove walls, I'm starting to like change fencing, I'm putting down like flooring on the floor just so that I know that it's flat and stuff, and still sometimes it just disagrees with me.
Why, God, why?
But managed to get it to work even though I didn't really do much there, so it was good that it worked. I just couldn't actually explain why it worked all of a sudden, but yeah, with this build I'm also kind of going for, I guess, like more vibrant colours and more unconventional colours. Like I said before, this is sort of set at a time where things are more simple, so a lot of houses, they're going to have a lot of wood and like natural materials like stone and stuff, but yeah, because it's got kind of like cartoony vibe to it, yeah, I didn't want to play it too safe with the colours, so I am going to do a lot of like blues and stuff like that. I think the main two mixes of colours in this build are probably orange and blue, because the woods are going to be quite an orangey tone, and then the blues are going to be like little details like the windows and things like that, because I think it just makes it look really pretty. And yeah, I also sometimes I feel like on some builds I play it too safe with colours, because I don't know if you feel the same way, but sometimes when you're designing and creating things, like colours can be the most scary part of it, because they don't all complement each other and then things can start to look messy. I try and do something where I like stick to a certain colour palette, like say there's blues and oranges and probably like pops of green, but outside of that there's not too much else, because you know, I will have different shades of those colours but not like extremes. Like I don't really have any like red colours, for example, and things like that. For now you can see a lot of tones, but because I just kind of placed everything down that I was thinking of using, I'm actually going to kind of recolour them as I go, so I just didn't want to like spend ages recolouring them and then deciding actually I don't want this, because that's what I do with a lot of these items. I try and place them and then I think actually it doesn't really work there, or I'd rather go with a different sort of item for decor, and then yeah, I end up with something different anyway, so there's probably no point in recolouring it because it might not even stay. So overall I just use a lot of items. I also, in this one save file, not in my other save files, but in this one save file, I'm kind of giving myself freedom to use whatever store content I own. In my other save files, I actually do restrict myself intentionally, because when I eventually put these save files out for download, I want you guys to be able to like download it and not have too much stuff missing. I do get that not everyone's going to have all the same store content, all the packs. I mean, I don't own all the store content, but like, you know, sometimes when you download something you think, oh, they've used that one set that I don't own, and that just happens because, you know, unless you really do own all of it, there is always going to be stuff you're missing. I mean, I have heard that you can get the store content elsewhere these days, and I guess if you download that, I think it should still show. So, you know, there's other ways to do it, but because I've had Sims 3 since like almost since when it came out, I think I got it like maybe a year, or no, maybe a year after it came out. Like I can't remember why. I think it was just because I think I just started uni and I wasn't really thinking about gaming as much at that point. But my husband bought it me, and then that just sparked everything. Like, I was just like, oh my god, I am in love with this game. Like, I love how creative it can be. You know, and I had originally played Sims 1 and Sims 2. Like, Sims 2 I absolutely loved, but obviously that was a little bit restrictive with some of the things like the colour wheel and things like that. I haven't played Sims 2 in years, probably since Sims 3 came out, to be fair, so I'm just kind of going off my memory. I do sometimes watch other YouTubers who are playing Sims 2, like Star Winksy and also a Cotton Sock. They play Sims 2 every now and then, so I do like watch that for a bit of nostalgia. And it is like still a really great game. I know they put mods in as well just to make it better, but the thing is, these days people can mod the Sims 2, Sims 3 so much that you effectively end up with like a remastered version of the game in a way, because the core game is amazing. Like, even Sims 2, like, you know, if you love cutscenes and that sort of stuff, like, you know, Sims 2 is definitely going to be like one that you'd probably really like. But if you like more kind of creating, I mean, you can create the town Sims 2 as well, but I don't know, like, there's something about Sims 3 and the open world with Sims 3, it just really always stuck with me, and that's like pretty much the main reason I could never go to Sims 4. There are other reasons as well, like, you know, sometimes I do like very occasionally watch a Sims 4 video, but for the gameplay alone, I just couldn't do it. Like, the building is fine. The main builder I ever watch on YouTube for Sims 4 is, I think she's called Just Nora. And she has some like really fun videos, and she does like challenges. It makes me want to kind of do challenge videos for Sims 3, to be honest, because sometimes she'll say, oh, I'll spin the wheel and I only use these packs and things like that. I know CJ Plays does that a lot for Sims 3 as well, but I do kind of like that idea, and sometimes I would like to do that myself, but I'm so busy making all these save files. I've kind of got myself into this, and I don't really want to stop making them, because now I'll feel like I've spent so much time and wasted time if I don't finish these save files now. So I gave myself like a million projects. Like, no one forces upon me, I do it to myself. So, you know, you might feel the same way. You might be the type of person who makes like a new game all the time and starts creating the world, and then you think, oh my god, I've done this like 15 times, what am I doing? But yeah, I mean, I literally haven't even played Sims 3 for like probably nearly 2 years. I haven't played this game, which sounds crazy. Like, it is probably crazy to say how much time I spend on it building, but for me it's just the building part, and it wasn't always like that, but I think it's just I just love the creativity, and I feel like I love the control over it as well, because I can kind of make whatever I'm feeling like on the day, and I think part of it as well, my like real life job, which, you know, is your typical 9-to-5 job, it is like the least creative job ever. Like, I feel like maybe I would have probably suited something more creative, like marketing or something like that, but because I'm just like setting things up on websites which are just what I'm supposed to set up, and I don't get much of a say in it, and you know, my other part of my job is sales, so again, I don't get a say in what the product is. It just is what it is, and I'll just tell someone about it all day on the phone. Like, it's not creative. And then putting through orders, like, it is effectively like what a robot could do in a way. Like, I know they couldn't, because when people have conversations in sales, like, I don't think that would be the most like fun conversation with a robot, to be honest. But I mean, you never know, one day, like with the way things are going. But yeah, there's something about having a conversation with a real person and, you know, getting information across and having a conversation. Sometimes that is the best way, but it's still not creative, you know. It really isn't. Like, effectively, I create myself a little script and I'll use that, and then, you know, the rest of it will be kind of organic conversation. But on the whole, I already kind of go, right, I know what I'm going to say and this is the product and whatnot, so it's not that creative. So when I do have the energy after work or at the weekend, if I've got time or whatever, this is just like my, you know, escape into imagination land. Like, I feel like for the last couple of years, more so than ever, I've been more like diverse in my creativity with it, and you probably have noticed it in the very few videos that I've done recently. And I am sorry that I don't post more. Like, I feel like if I had more time, all it is for me is time. Like, if I had all the time in the world, I'd do this like all day long. Like, this would be, you know, I'd create something, I'd take a video, then I'd get into editing, and then I'd do a voiceover, and then I'd be like, done. But because that process, you know, does take a lot of time, and probably more time than it should, but because I'm like such an amateur, it takes me ages to like do all this stuff and edit videos and stuff still, because you know, realistically no one's taught me how to do it. I'm just kind of like making it up as I go along. So yeah, it's like quite hard to find the time to fit in, but when I do, I love doing it. I love sharing my videos with you. I love hearing your feedback. I love hearing like what, you know, you liked about the creation, or what you thought could be different, or what you're doing in your game. Like, you know, I love to start that sort of conversation, and I always wanted my channel to be like a small community where, you know, if you like the same things as what you're watching, and if you're like sort of doing your own builds and stuff, like, just let me know what you're doing, you know. And I think other people like to read the comments too, and, you know, it's just always good to sort of get people involved, because there's still not that many people who continue to play Sims 3, and even less new people who just randomly decide to play it. But, you know, I guess like if you come here, there's a general interest, and this is somewhere where you'll find other people who like the same things. So, you know, I just always wanted it to be a place where people could share and discuss and, you know, just enjoy the same content that you like, really. And I have no plans on this channel to do any other types of games or different types of videos. Like, I have absolutely no plans to move on to Sims 4, even if there's never going to be a Sims 5. You know, it's just not my thing. Like, I do appreciate like the graphics in Sims 4 so much nicer, in terms of like the lighting. Like, if I ever see like a picture of someone's Sims 4 game and I see like the way the light is coming through the window and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I just don't think you could ever, even with loads of mods, I don't think you could achieve that on Sims 3. And that is what it is, because it's always going to have limitations, but I still love what you can create on Sims 3. I still think you can be creative. You can make like an industrial build, you can make a futuristic build, you can make something that's like medieval if you want. Like, I think you've got the span to do it. It's just the fact that it's always going to kind of look this way, you know. Even if you have lighting mods and stuff, there's always going to be a certain graphical, you know, type that this falls into. So you know, and when I see screenshots of like Sims 3 or Sims 4, personally I can always tell, oh, that's from Sims 3 or that's from Sims 4, because they do have, you know, different firstly, different artistic style, even if you use CC, and secondly, it's the lighting for me. I think they are different, but I just think, like, if I ever do, well, when I do decide to start playing Sims 3 again, I'm going to have all these worlds that I've effectively made, like, in a style that I like and with a story, like a backstory that I like, and it's going to make it so much better for me. And I really just want to finish these at some point to share them with you as well. Like, whenever I put a video out, I am going to try and kind of leave the download for you so that you can put this build in your world, even though this isn't the whole save file complete, it's just one build from it. At least then you can, like, have that in your game. And even though I'm making so many builds, so many different houses for this world, I'm not gonna share them all. Like, I'm just gonna, like, handpick a few, because I think, you know, when the save file's complete, then you'll have them all. So I know I keep not speaking about the build, sorry, I get distracted. So yeah, with this build, a lot of the decoration, I'm kind of like picking things that look like either designs that someone would be following instructions for woodworking, or just things that look like they're made of wood in general. Even all the furniture, like the little bench and the rocking chair, I picture that this carpenter, like, makes all of the stuff either outside or in this area, and then when I go to decorate the bedroom part upstairs, that's going to be where I imagine the carpenter does all the painting of it. So, you know, that's where he makes more bright colours, and I'm going to do more like an easel thing up there. So that's kind of what I had in mind for the actual sort of layout and why I've picked what I've picked in this house. And I think the main theme throughout the whole house that I was thinking of was cluttered and cozy, because I just want it to look like someone is surrounded by their work, like they're surrounded by all these things they made and love, and it gives them constant inspiration every day. You know, so all the walls have stuff on them, there's shelves full of things, there's like cozy elements, like I keep putting in like rugs and, you know, other things, just so that every area has something going on. And I think that's just something I really enjoyed doing. I really love cluttering up houses. It is a lot harder without CC, to be fair, so, you know, that's why I've gone crazy with the store content, because then I've got more items. But overall, I think it, like, really created the effect that I was really going for, so I was quite happy with how that ended up. Oh gosh, I missed a whole chunk of floor there. So I'm sure you can already tell, but I'm moving on to the upstairs now. So this bedroom, again, totally going to stick with the cute cottagey look. It's obviously a very small house, but because it's only really with one sim in mind, it's not too bad. But I am going to kind of fill the space with quite a lot of furniture, because after all, that's kind of what he's made, and I want to make sure that there's lots of stuff. I have used so much store content, so if you're wondering, oh, where did that clock come from, or, I mean, this sofa's so cute. I love the little different swatches. Like, that was from a farmer market or farm, I don't know what the exact pack was called, but yeah, again, that was store content. That lamp with the little teapot is from, like, a whimsical set. I think it was meant to look like Alice in Wonderland stuff, but again, because it's kind of like cartoonish anime style, I thought, like, you know, I can use those sort of quirky items. Like, no one's going to question, why is your lamp like a teapot, because this world's just going to have so many, like, random little things in it that make it, like, cute. So yeah, and I really do like the fact that when I'm building in this style, I feel like I can just, like, put loads of random things in, and it is actually still gonna look right. Like, yeah, I think that's why I enjoy doing that so much. So you see that coat hanger wall hook thing, that is actually one of my favourite store items. I know it's a really random item, but I feel like I use that in every build. You know, I'm sorry if I overuse that item, to be honest, but yeah, I think it was from like the one with nature pack, I believe it was called, and to be honest, I didn't really like much else from that pack, but that one item alone was, yeah, just one of my favourites they've ever come up with. I think it just makes the house look more cosy, more lived in. I just like the fact that it's got a little apron and a bag on it. It's really cute. You can get that store item separately, like you don't have to buy the entire set for it, which is like something I always looked for with the store stuff, because sometimes like not all the stuff was like stuff I loved, but there was the occasional item I was like, oh, I do really like that. With that rug as well, with the little paint pot set, I cover up the paper and stuff, and then it just looks like a couple of little tins of paint with some paint brushes. I do quite like to do that sometimes. It's quite a handy little tip that you can do just to make it look a bit like different, like the whole item look different. But yeah, I've tried to go for a very cutesy, cozy cottage look, and this is the finished look. So yeah, it's even got like a little cherry tree, because again, a lot of the anime things have that. So yeah, I really like how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to download this build or more, just visit my website www.nessiepenguin.com and you'll find all the things in the build section. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!